What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score, your home for deep NBA insight and the best betting breakdowns you'll find anywhere on YouTube. In today's episode, we're diving into 5 preseason matchups going down on October 8, 2025, and giving you both team picks and total picks for each game. 10 total predictions, all backed by real data, stats, and insider injury reports. So whether you're here to sharpen your bets or just stay ahead of the curve this NBA season, stick around till the end because these picks could set the tone for the first few weeks of the season. Let's get into it. We start in Miami, where the Heat take on the San Antonio Spurs in what might be one of the most intriguing early season tests of depth and discipline. The Spurs enter shorthanded with De'Aaron Fox sidelined and rookie Stephon Castle dealing with lingering soreness, leaving Victor Wembanyama and Devin Vassell to carry most of the offensive burden. For San Antonio, that means more isolation play, less organized motion, which plays right into Miami's hands. The Heat are expected to feature Bam Adebayo anchoring the middle, while newly acquired wings Andrew Wiggins and Norman Powell bring fresh defensive length and slashing ability. With Tyler Herro and Terry Rozier still ramping up minutes, Eric Spoelstra will likely keep things half-court focused, emphasizing defense and rim pressure. Expect Miami to grind this one out with their defensive schemes and late-game execution. The pick: Heat to cover the spread as underdogs, taking advantage of San Antonio's thin backcourt. And with both sides managing rotations and limiting pace, the under on the total is the smart move here. Expect something like a 103-95 Miami win in a low-tempo slugfest. Now we head to Houston, where the Rockets welcome the Utah Jazz in a matchup that's all about which team has more bodies available. Houston's preseason opener was a statement. A 122-113 win over the Hawks, despite missing key names like Fred VanVleet. In his absence, Amen Thompson and Reed Shepherd ran the show with poise, while Alperen Sengun operated as a passing hub from the elbow, flanked by Clint Capella and Steven Adams in a surprisingly effective dual big look. On the other side, Utah's availability is a major question mark. Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and Kyle Filipowski were all game-time decisions, and Georges Niang remains out with a foot injury. If any of those core pieces are limited or sit out, the Jazz will have a rough time matching Houston's rebounding and inside playmaking. The Rockets' youthful energy and improved chemistry give them a serious edge at home. The first pick here is Houston to win and cover the spread, and with how freely they've been pushing tempo, plus Utah's defensive concerns, we're taking the over on the projected total. Expect a 121-110 Rockets win in an up-tempo preseason track meet. Next up, we've got the Boston Celtics traveling to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies in a matchup that's more about health than anything else. Memphis is banged up. Ja Morant remains out with an ankle sprain, Jaren Jackson Jr. is day-to-day, Brandon Clark is sidelined, and rookie big Zach Edey is still recovering from his ankle injury. They've also retooled a bit, trading Desmond Bane to Orlando and adding Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who brings veteran defense but doesn't replace Bane's shot creation. Boston, meanwhile, will also be without Jason Tatum, who's rehabbing from an Achilles injury. The offseason overhaul saw Drew Holiday flipped to Portland for Anthony Simons, while Kristaps Porzingis was shipped to Atlanta. The Celtics have focused on playing faster this preseason, with Derek White and Simons expected to drive that up-tempo style. Still, this early, in October, execution rarely matches intent. Memphis's lack of shot creation makes it hard to trust them to keep up, especially with Boston's guard play and depth advantages. So the side pick is Boston to cover as underdogs, leaning on their bench and tempo. However, without Morant or Jackson guaranteed, scoring could dip, which makes the under on the total the right call. This one feels like a defensive grind ending around 108-101 in favor of Boston. We then shift to San Francisco for Portland versus Golden State, a preseason matchup that gives us a glimpse at two teams heading in very different directions. The Warriors have a clear structure: Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and the newly added Al Horford headline the core. In their opener, They handled the Lakers 111-103, showing crisp ball movement and confident shooting. Moses Moody knocked down 5 threes off the bench, proving their depth remains lethal. Portland, however, is dealing with a mix of injuries and rebuilding growing pains. Scoot Henderson is sidelined with a hamstring tear, Robert Williams III is still out, and although Damian Lillard returned on paper, he won't play as he continues Achilles rehab. That leaves Drew Holiday and Shaedon Sharpe to handle most of the creation load. The problem: Golden State's spacing, switching, and home court energy are all massive advantages. The pick here is Golden State to win and cover as favorites, using their precision offense to bury a young Blazers squad. With the Warriors' ability to shoot lights out and the Blazers' bench expected to run freely late, the over makes sense for the total. Look for something around 118-107 Warriors, as they continue to fine-tune rotations before the regular season. Finally, we wrap things up in Sacramento, where the Kings host the Toronto Raptors. Toronto just dropped their opener 112-108 to Denver and might again be shorthanded in the frontcourt. Jakob Poeltl remains questionable with back soreness, and their backup center depth is limited with Christian Koloko and Olivier Sur not yet at full capacity. Sacramento's revamped lineup features Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan joining Domantas Sabonis and Dennis Schroeder, giving them one of the most balanced offensive cores in the Western Conference. The Kings' ball movement and interior creation through Sabonis are tailor-made to exploit a Raptors defense missing its anchor. With home court energy and the advantage in both chemistry and depth, Sacramento to win and cover as favorites is the pick. Toronto's guards can keep it competitive early, but the interior mismatch looms large. Given both teams' offensive firepower and willingness to run during preseason experimentation, this one shapes up as an over on the total. Expect something in the range of 121-114 Kings in a back-and-forth offensive showcase. So there you have it. 10 total picks across 5 matchups, each backed by data, injury analysis, and real matchup context. If you've been following along with Beyond the Box Score, you know we don't throw darts. We break down the why behind every line, and tonight's slate is no exception. Before you go, make sure you smash that like button, drop your predictions in the comments, and let us know which of these games you're locking in for your own ticket. Subscribe if you haven't already, because every day we're dropping full betting breakdowns just like this one, helping you stay ahead of Vegas and get the edge before tip-off. This is Beyond the Box Score, where insight meets action.